Hey, what's up guys? We are here with our first Injustice 2 character breakdown. We're looking at Superman. He's a really great choice if you're new to the series because he's very simple to pick up. He has kind of all the tools you would want in any character. You can play a variety of playstyles. Any Superman, right? He's, you know, DC poster boy. But besides that, if you're a returning fan of Injustice, he plays very similar to how he played in the first game. So you're going to hop right into him and feel really comfortable. So a great choice no matter who you are. You know, getting into Superman, he's got, like I mentioned, pretty much everything you'd want. We're going to start with mobility. His walk speed backwards is pretty normal, but his forward walk speed is very fast. He covers a lot of distance really quickly, and you combine this with some of the forward moving attacks he has, he can get around the screen incredibly fast. Besides that, this is what his dashes look like. Back dash, pretty good range. Forward dash, very quick, right? You can see that he covers, you know, a third of the screen incredibly quickly on that dash. He can also dash in the air. He has an air dash, and he can do attacks out of it as well. He can also do special moves. So, you know, very useful for moving around the screen and setting up zoning, you know, doing a lot of really important things that you want to do. Other mobility tools he has to get under stuff, he has his down forward 3. It's this lunging sweep. This goes under projectiles. So if you have a high projectile, you can use this to go under. It also just has good range, as you can see. You'll clip people low. If they block it, you're in big trouble. They can punish it with a big combo, right? They get a big counter there, but that is something that you're going to be using a lot as Superman. Other mobility tools, his Superman punch. This is good for closing the distance, and if you meter burn it, you spend meter on it, it actually has armor, and it hits as an overhead, so really useful for getting around the screen. So those are some of the mobility tools that he has, right? He can traverse the screen pretty easily. Besides that, let's start talking about some of his normals. So Injustice, it has 3 normals. It's basically a light attack, a medium attack, and a heavy attack. These are 1, 2, and 3. And if you don't know what those look like, go pick Superman, hold forward, and do this attack. That is forward 2. One of the best normals in the game. It's a very, very powerful normal for Superman for a lot of reasons. One of them is that it covers a lot of distance. As you can see, it lunges him forward pretty far here, right? It also leads to a combo if it lands. So if you happen to hit your opponent with it, you know, you can do this big damage, big corner carry. Awesome normal. If it's blocked, it's very safe as well. So this is one of the best strings in the whole game. You know, even if my opponent here, if I set him to block, instead of going for that combo, I can do something like that and space him away and keep myself nice and safe. So that is something that's very important. That is forward 2, 3, one of Superman's most powerful options, the option you'll probably go to the most. Besides that, he's got some new stuff, as I mentioned. A lot of this probably looks familiar if you've seen Superman before. He's got this back 2. This has big range on it, as you can see. It has massive range. Besides that, it's got a few follow-ups. So if you hit 1, he shoots laser beams, and he does a little punch after. And if you hit down +3, he does a little slam that side switches, which is great when you're trapped in the corner and you want to try to find a way out. You can also meter burn it, and you get a combo after it if you're good at the video game, which I'm not, which is great. That's really awesome, right? You want to try to get, you know, out of the corner or side switch and find your way out of there. That's going to be really useful. Besides that, a couple of things that Superman's going to be using a lot. Standing 3, you're going to use this in combos. It's one of your main combo moves that you're going to use a lot of the time. So if I happen to be in the corner here, you can do it, and it combos into itself, as you can see. You can also special cancel it, which means you can do stuff like this and get a big Superman corner combo. Really useful. You know, and against Superman, a lot of players are going to be walking backwards because they don't want to deal with this, right? They don't want to deal with that forward 2, 3. So to catch people low, you're going to be using your forward 2, down 1 a lot. This also is special cancelable. You can use your EX breath, get a big combo after it. You can also use your back 1. It's a little low laser as well. So those are some of the normals that you'll be using as Superman. Special moves. He's got a lot of great zoning moves. You know, you might have seen this earlier. I showed it off. His heat vision is down back 1. He shoots a little laser on the floor there. If he meter burns it, it's an overhead, and it does a lot of damage, as you can see. If you look at that life bar up there, yeah, it does a grip. So a very useful attack. Besides that, he also has his heat zap. This is down back 3. You cannot meter burn this move. It does a lot of damage if it hits. It recovers very quickly, so it's pretty safe to do, and it's just a really good zoning tool. Do keep in mind though that it is a high, which means that my opponent can duck right under it. But then that's when you go back to other projectiles, right? So that's, you know, kind of how his zoning game will work. Another thing to note about heat vision, you can do it in the air. You can still meter burn it in the air as well. You can do it pretty low on the ground. You don't have to wait until you're all the way up there. You can even air dash and do it. So yeah, he can do that at a lot of ranges. So a very useful zoning tool for sure. Other special moves he has his scoop from the old game. This is called Lockdown Launch. Down forward 1. You don't get a combo off of it by itself, which you did in the last game. But if you meter burn it, you spend some bar on it, you can do a combo. So that's pretty cool. You know, if you want to do whatever you... Oh, man. Combos. You can do stuff off of it and pick it up and get whatever you want. So a little different than the last game. If you guys played Superman there, you might not be as familiar with it. He has Super Breath. This is down back 2. Looks just like that. If it hits, it just pushes your opponent full screen. If you EX it, it freezes them, you get a big combo off of it, right? So one of his main special moves, you're going to be using that quite a bit. The other special moves to talk about, Rising Grab. This is down forward 2. It looks just like that. If it hits, he throws them up in the air and you can shoot an air laser after. This is great if you want to side switch, right? If your opponent has you stuck in the corner or something, you can just go up there, do that laser beam. But it's also very useful because it is a wake up attack. So if someone happens to knock you down, right, they just walk up and they do some offense on you like that, and you know, you don't want to deal with that. You use your Rising Grab and you can get out of there. You can also use your Superman Punch as a wake up attack as well. So both of them gonna be wake up attacks that you go to as Superman when you're knocked down and you're feeling the pressure. So both those great options. Now, we looked at all the special moves. Now it's time to look at his trait, which is one of the more powerful traits in the game. It's a big damage boost. So this is what it looks like when he traits up. You can see him glowing red. The bar is at the bottom there, and it takes a little while to run out, right? So the bonuses of this trait is a damage buff. So if I do a laser, you can see it does 82 damage, right, on that life bar of Batman. If I do it while traded, it's now 103, so it's a damage buff. You can also cancel your normals into it. So stuff like forward 2 trait, walk up throw. That's really good, right? You can get that little cancel, get some offense going for yourself. You can also use it in your juggles and get really big damage because of that damage boost. It's really, really, really useful. Besides that, it also gives you armor breaking properties, which is so useful against a lot of characters in this game. So let's say that Batman, for instance, decides he wants to use his meter burn back 3 on me. You know, it's a really good move, and I have to respect it because if I try to do an attack into it, he's just gonna armor right through me, right? Even if I want to use that forward 2 I've been talking about, which is so good. But as Superman, if I have trait active, I'll just go right through his armor. I'll just punch him right through it. It's not a big deal. I'll just fly right through it, do Superman things, big combo. So that is one of the benefits of having that trait. It's really, really, really good. The other thing to talk about with Superman, and the final thing to cover, is his super move. It's incredibly fast and incredibly far-reaching, as you're about to see. It just traverses the whole screen almost instantly, which is crazy powerful late in the match because it has armor on it, so you can use it to fly through other people's attacks. Very, very useful. And you can combo it at a lot of ranges off of stuff like Heat Zap. Heat Zap into Super will work. I don't want to watch the animation again, but yeah, that's how it works at a lot of ranges off of his Heat Zap. And so a really powerful strategy late in the game, right, is to activate your trait, wait until your opponent does any attack, and then react with your super. Because it does just a grip of damage, especially when you're in trait, you get that damage buff, so you do even more damage. It's really, really useful. And that about covers it for Superman. He's very straightforward, very similar to how his old Injustice incarnation of the character was. So if you played that game very much, you'll probably be very familiar with how to play Superman and how to fight Superman. And if you're brand new, awesome character to pick up. He has pretty much all the tools you'd be looking for in a character, and he's a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this character breakdown, and I'll see you guys again soon.